Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Let's Go Sportsball podcast, our inaugural episode.
Yes, it
How
is.
about that? I'm Owen, this is Ron, and welcome to the show, I guess.
Well, Owen, if people don't know what we're going to be doing on here, we're going to be covering the four main sports: hockey, basketball, baseball, and football. That's covering all of college, pros as well. We may sprinkle some in there of soccer or other stuff that goes on around the nation.
Or golf or something.
Yeah.
Or,
but this is our first episode, so hopefully...
Curling's the other one I was thinking.
Curling.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
We'll see what we can get in there, but let's start off with the NBA. Owen, I know you've been doing some research on a lot of different things out there.
Yeah, a big story in the NBA recently has been this whole drama surrounding Jimmy Butler. Now, the 30th overall pick has indicated that he wants out of the Miami Heat. Now, he's been playing for them for a little while now. He's been playing for the Heat since 2019, and he's been indicating that he's done with the organization, and this has been a big story. There have been a lot of teams that have been looking to pick him up and stuff like that. He's played for in the past.
He's played for 76ers. I know that for sure.
Yeah. I wrote it here in my notes somewhere. No, that's who wants it. All right. He's played for a multitude of teams and stuff like that, and he's been a very solid player throughout his career. I mean, he's been pretty good. He's been a very fun face in the league. And he was recently suspended for 7 games by the Miami Heat, to which they responded to this by saying, quote, multiple instances of conduct detrimental to the team over the course of the season. So this could be something that is referring to the fact that he's basically been I don't want to play for the Heat anymore. So they're probably okay, well then get suspended, idiot. It's one of those things where, it feels like it's obvious, but at the same time, there may be something else to it that we just don't know.
There may be some other things to it. I think with him requesting the trade, in my opinion, it's a little... It kind of shocks me because he's been really good with how he does and everything, but the problem is he just needs to step up a little bit better, in my opinion. I think he's done a great job, but I mean... hopefully he can find a team that he's comfortable with.
Yeah.
I mean, as we saw earlier, the Bucks seem to be interested in him, or at least it's a rumor that the Bucks are interested in him.
Yeah, Milwaukee was a team that I was not expecting to be interested in Jimmy.
I wasn't either. I was expecting him hopefully to either go back to I don't see him going back to Miami, but I would have. It could have been a shock to see him go to go to the 76ers, go back to the 76ers again if they wanted him. But even then, now the question is, where is he going to go to? That's what we're trying to figure out. Hopefully he chooses a good team, but there's quite a bit of teams that are possibly interested in him in general.
Some of the teams that are interested in Jimmy are the Nuggets, as well as the Mavericks, the Rockets, Lakers, and Suns. Now, there was a lot of speculation when this drama was picking up. There were a lot of people thinking, oh, well, maybe the Warriors will try to get him. But as of recent, I haven't heard much about the Warriors. I've heard that they're probably not going to pursue him, mainly because of just the cost of what it would take to get him. Because, there have been a lot of mock trades and stuff like that, and people being oh, well, maybe they're going to throw this amount of money at him and stuff like that. And it's here's the thing. He's a solid basketball player. My apologies. But the thing is, he's aging, and he could very well just start declining when he's not with the Heat. There have been a lot of athletes that have, they're amazing players with one team, and then they go to another team, and it's hey man, what happened? What's going on, man?
Yeah.
It's worrying, so for all we know, maybe it might be a good thing that he doesn't go to the Warriors, but
they've got a stacked team already in the Warriors.
Yeah. They still have Steph and Clay, but wait.
But no,
Clay got traded. Clay got traded. Sorry, forgot.
happens sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they still have Steph, so that's the question is, I mean, do they really want somebody else down there when they've got Steph? I mean, yes, they probably could add some more people, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully like I said, hopefully he does find a good team. I mean, we're coming up in the season. I mean, the season for, I mean, the Heat, they could be a little bit better. I mean, currently right now, they are sitting about 6th in the Eastern Conference. And they are at 20-17, 20 wins and 17 losses.
Yeah, they have a .541 percentage here.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of and I think it's kind of understandable that he wants to go because I mean, because in a recent interview with the press, he actually said that he just couldn't find his joy of basketball with the Heat, and that's the kind of thing and that's the kind of thing that is very, very bad to hear from, especially one of your best players. You know, it's like when you hear that one of your players is like, this team is making me lose my love for the sport. I mean, look at the Buffalo Sabres, for example. Ryan O'Reilly played for them, and he admitted while he was playing in Buffalo that he was losing his love for the game, and then he went to St. Louis, and he did great.
You better be careful wearing that Buffalo Sabres.
Okay, look, man, it's Dave Andrewchuk.
I'll give that to you.
Oh yeah, we probably should have mentioned Tampa sports fan, Ohio sports fan. So you know.
So there's different ones, and if you're wondering if you can hear the noise, I don't know if you can, but if you hear the crowd cheer and everything, we take a break to do a little cheer with them. That's only because we're recording this while the Bills are currently playing the Denver Broncos in the wild card game.
Yeah, wild card game. It's the NFL playoffs, and things are going wild. As of this recording, it is 10.
It is 2.
It is 10.
He missed it. Oh my gosh.
Oh no! How about that?
So currently, right now at halftime,
it is 10-7.
10-7, which is
Bills.
That shocked me a little bit seeing that happen.
Yeah, it went off the. I think it went off the post. Voice crack there.
Oh.
So yeah, we record it here sometimes. Just it's a good location. I love
it'll be like this. It'll be crazy for a little bit until the games have subsided, until the Super Bowl has gone down. So we'll see how it goes.
We all know who's going to be playing in the Super Bowl.
Hopefully not the Chiefs.
It's going to be the Chiefs and the Eagles.
Hopefully
because the football gods hate us.
But that is, I mean, it's still fun. I mean, going back to Jimmy Butler, I mean, to see him go around and everything, I mean, hopefully he can find a team, like I said, that's a championship caliber.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking to make about $45 million this season.
Because, I mean,
for contracts.
So. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty steep price, especially for, again, I mean, this is an aging veteran.
Yeah.
So something is that I don't know if teams are going to be willing to pay for that because there's a lot of risk with that. I mean, you don't want to like sign somebody that's like really good, but he's also like 80,000 years old in basketball years. So at some point he could probably end up declining or whatever, or something bad will happen. But that's something that we will have to look out for.
Oh yeah, and of course you look at the Lakers. I mean, the Lakers being one of them. Right now they are currently sitting in the same position. They are 6th place in the West. They are 20-16, 20 wins, 16 losses. Percentage is about 5.56. So I mean, even if he decides to go to the Lakers, he's still in a great place. Plus, we don't know what LeBron James is thinking right now.
Yeah, I've been hearing rumors about him too, because there have been talk about him might probably retire.
Yeah, and I mean, he's trying to get it to where when his son starts, his son Bronny James, he wants to play at least one season. Yes, Bronny has been. I've seen him more in the G League, which, if you don't know what that is, the G League is more of kind of like a minor league team for basketball.
So probably should also mention this too. I'm more of a hockey guy. I do have good understanding of the rest of the sports ball, but I'm still kind of learning because, I'm more of a dumb ice puck person. And no, I'm not Canadian. Don't start asking that.
I can vouch for him that he's not Canadian.
Well, I'm part from Montreal, but I was born here in America. Yeah. I'm a Florida man.
But I mean,
hockey does belong in Florida, you bums. All right, but that's beside the point. But yeah, so would that be like the AHL?
Kind of,
lower?
yes, it would be kind of like the AHL or the I almost said USFL, not the football league, the USHL. It's more like that, but
we're talking about basketball, sir.
But there's different things that he could do. I mean, I would love to see LeBron play at least one more season. He is really great. I still will never consider him the GOAT. You can argue me on that, and I will argue that right back.
Yeah, but careful, all the LeBron fans are going to be like, "Oh, LeBron, my kooky bear. What can I say?"
Oh well, bring it on, haters.
Just like the 5-paragraph long thing about how much they sleep with a cardboard cut out of him in their bed every night.
As Shaq has said on one of his shows.
Oh boy, yeah.
Michael Jordan is 6 and what?
Oh.
LeBron James is what? Ends the conversation right there. So, but I mean, we'll see how this plays out with like Jimmy Butler and everything, and especially with like going around the league as well. You never know what could happen. You could have surprise teams like, in my opinion, with the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're great with our power forward that we have, but you never know. They could go out and try to get Jimmy Butler.
Maybe. I mean, do you think that's wise though?
Huh?
Do you think that would be like a wise course?
I don't know if he's going for it. I mean, right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers have like the best record in the NBA right now at 33-4. So, I mean, I could see. I don't think. Got to flex a little bit.
Yeah,
but at the same time, I don't know if he would go there honestly, because I think he would more. I think he wants to try to get to a championship caliber team.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he hasn't won a ring yet, has he?
No, he has not won a ring. So, at least I don't think he has. But I would love to see him have that happen. I would love to see him get that ring, especially with how long he's been there.
Oh, yeah.
He's had reputations multiple times about, like, with being I guess you could say, like, being one of those Draymond Green type people, but he's not
like a trash talker?
Yes.
Yeah, see, like, that's something about him is, like, he's very keen to trash talking, but he's able to back it up a lot of times. I mean, like, compare that to somebody like John Morant, who often talks crap and decides, the owner of the pub here just causing a bit of shenanigans.
Yes, he is.
So,
we love
anyway,
him. Thank you to Flanagan's as well.
Flanagan Brothers Beer Works, great place.
Thank you for them for letting us do this. I mean, we asked them as soon as we came up with this, we asked him if we could record here on Sundays, and luckily he's allowed us to do that.
Yeah. Hey,
so I'm happy.
He got me this Dave Andrewchuk jersey, so you know,
we're happy to be here and happy to.
I am forever in his debt. Yeah, but anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I mean, the thing about Jimmy is like I said, he's a trash talker. I mean, compare that to somebody like, but he's able to back it up. Compare that to somebody like John Morant, who he says, "Oh, I'm fine in the West," and then he makes
stomped,
and then he made it in the playoffs in 2023, and the Grizzlies got just poached.
But
by
if
the
it
Lakers.
also by that with like the Dylan Brooks and everything, Dylan Brooks is another one.
Oh yeah, he's a massive instigator.
I mean, he literally has gone from Memphis and now is on, I believe, the Houston Rockets, and he's causing trouble over there.
When did he go to the Rockets again?
About in the offseason after the playoffs.
That's weird. I didn't hear about that.
Happens sometimes.
Yeah,
that's why you got me.
Yeah, it's like with hockey. It's like at one moment I was like, oh yeah, okay, and then it's like, oh wait, when did Tyler Toffoli go to the Sharks? It's like I thought he was still with the Jets. I knew Monahan went to the Blue Jackets, but what's Toffoli doing in San Jose? Yeah. Get him to Anaheim. He'll finish his tour of Cali. But that's all besides the point. So.
But I mean, even if we do that, so if we look at it, there's some games that are coming up here that we could predict, but at the same time, let's try and do it, I guess you could say, at the later games. And let's look through some of the later games that are supposed to happen today.
Oh, you're right. He does play for the Rockets. I just checked. And it's funny because on Thursday, January 9th, Dylan Brooks and his team actually ended up beating the Memphis Grizzlies 119 to 115. I gotta say,
got a little lucky there.
Yeah,
and he got his revenge. But let's go through.
I mean, how are the Rockets doing in the standings anyway?
So right now,
I didn't check that. I meant to, but I think it's
Houston Rockets are in the West. Right now, the Rockets are actually second in the West.
Wow.
They're just behind. They're about 6 games behind OKC, Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oklahoma City's been amazing.
They've been surprising, and that was going to be the question. I mean, they had a 15-game win streak going into playing the Cavaliers last week, and would you look at that? Cavaliers still won, but I want to look.
Trust me, folks. If you think that this is shameless plugging for his favorite team, just wait until I start calling every hockey player that's ever played for the Tampa Bay Lightning a Lightning legend. He gets sick of it.
He'll get there at some point. But let's look at some of the games that are happening tomorrow. Since we don't want to put. We understand that there are going to be some games today. Everybody's going to know. Hopefully, we could get it out by the time some of the games start, but most of them start a little bit later on. So let's look at some of the NBA teams. And if we didn't mention before, we'll do a little bit of predictions at the end of each topic, so that you can see what we choose, what we think is going to happen. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a great idea. So we're looking.
Why not just be like, all right? So I think this team. I think it'll be Carlos Santana, the greatest goaltender in the history of the NFL, is going to beat the Clippers for a green jacket. Sportsball!
This is what I have to deal with sometimes.
Oh,
but
quiet, Ron.
But let's look at tomorrow. So starting at 7 o'clock, you have the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Washington Wizards. Washington Wizards are 6-30, have not been on a really great start, and then you've got the Timberwolves 20-18.
No.
So,
really?
Owen, who do you think will win this game? And if you have a score prediction, what do you think the score will be?
I mean, do I even really need to say? I think if you have a basic understanding, but don't get me wrong. The memes would be great if the Wizards somehow just pulled a win out of their butt, but
it would.
Timberwolves will most definitely take this one.
Yeah, I mean,
looking at their stats currently, I mean, the matchup predictor on ESPN says it all. I mean, it's 76.7 to 23.3 in favor of the Timberwolves, and currently the leader for the Timberwolves in points is Anthony Edwards with 25.4 points per game, a 43.9 field goal percentage. He's a good player, and as for the Wizards, you have Jordan Poole with 21.8 points per game and a 43.8 field goal percentage. And Rudy Gobert is currently leading the Timberwolves in rebounds, and I remember that trade that they made for Rudy Gobert, that looked a little weird. That was one of the trades of all time.
And the last time that we look back at the last 2 matchups that they've had. Timberwolves have won both times. First time was on April 9th of last year and everything. April 9th, they won 130 to 121. And then just recently on Wednesday, January 24th of last year, Timberwolves beat them again, 118 to 107.
Yeah.
If I had to go with a prediction, obviously, I'm definitely going with the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
And I would say the score, in my opinion, would probably, I'm going to call it 130 to 120. I'd say 130 to 120, at least.
I think it might be a little bit less, but like on the side of the Wizards, but you know what? I will go with that. And I mean, just looking at the Wizards' last few games, I mean, out of their last 5 games, they have lost all 5, where they lost 132 to 120 against the Pelicans, and then they faced the Pelicans again this time on their home court, I think. Yeah, on their home court, they lost 110 to 98. Then they lost to the Rockets in 135 to 112. Then they went to Philly, where they lost 109 to 103. A lot of 100s in the NBA. I often forget how high the scores get.
And I know I've spoken to you before about this, and I've spoken to others about it as well. When you look at the NBA, there's not a lot of defense in there anymore. So I used to say it used to be rare that you see 100-point games. And now all you're seeing is like just 100 points plus.
If it's not 100 points, then Jesus, do they have like Bobby Orr on their team? Like, what is this? What is this?
For those of you who don't know, actually, I'll let you explain who Bobby Orr is.
Bobby Orr, greatest defenseman in the history of the NHL. If anybody says otherwise, they don't know anything. All right, look, I make the references. Just leave me alone, okay? Quit bullying me, wrong. But yeah, I mean, it's like, geez, like if it's just like 10-10, it's like, okay, well, who is blocking the net? Do they just have like a steel guard around it? What is this? What is this shenanigans?
That's going to be the question coming up.
Yeah.
So
and the last game that that the Wizards played was over in Chicago, where they lost 138 to 105. Now, as for the Timberwolves, they are 3-2 in their last 5, and they've had some pretty decisive victories here. Some games have been pretty close, like against the Clippers, they won 108 to 106. So well, a lot of people will be like, oh, well, this will probably be a blowout for Minnesota.
It could be.
Like it'll be a blowout against the Washington Wizards. You know, it could very well possibly be a close game, like, for all we know. I mean,
yeah,
it'd be good. It would be good basketball.
You could never know what could happen. So next one is, I mean, it almost seems like a no-brainer, but at the same time, you never know what's going to happen. It's the Warriors, the Golden State Warriors, who are at 19-19, 19 wins, 19 losses. And the Toronto Raptors at 8 wins, 31 losses. So they're only like barely 2 games behind what the Washington Wizards are at. I mean, you never know what could happen.
And Toronto is actually favored in the matchup predictor here, 57.5 to 42.5%. And I'm a bit surprised, but wow, looking at some of the stats, it's kind of, I think it kind of makes sense. I mean, looking at season leaders, the Raptors have R.G. Barrett with 22.7 points per game and 46% field goal percentage, which is pretty good. I mean, it's beating out Steph Curry, who is 22.6 points per game. So like literally like 0.1 off.
Yeah.
And Curry also has 44.6 field goal percentage.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting statistic there. And
you look at the Warriors, I mean, they have some of them that are possibly game-time decisions. Of course, I don't know how accurate this could be. So you got Steph Curry, that's a game-time decision, which I think he'll play. Draymond Green, a game-time decision, which I think he more likely will play. They got Jonathan Kuminga, who is out for this game. They've got Gary Payton III, Brandon I'm not even going to try to say his last name.
It's that guy named Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon is a game-time decision, and Andrew Wiggins is a game-time decision. So you've got quite a bit of those, but I almost feel confident that Steph Curry and Draymond Green will be playing. If you look at the last 2 matchups that they had, I mean, just last year, previous matchups they've had, the Warriors have actually won one, and the Raptors have actually won one.
Okay.
So
it's 1-1 in their past 2.
Yes.
Okay.
So in the past 2, so on March 1st of last year, the Warriors won 120 to 105, and if you look at January 7th of last year, the Toronto Raptors won 133 to 118. I mean, it could go either way. I want to go with what they are predicting as being, like, as the Raptors being the favorite. But I mean, even though they have Steph Curry and everything, even if he's a game-time decision, I still think they could pull that out. I still think the Warriors are going to win this game. I don't know if I have a score. for that.
Yeah,
I can't
I don't have one
say
either.
what score it will be, because if you look at the past ones, I mean, it could be 10, it could be 133, it could be 120. You don't know what it's going to be. It just depends on how they show up and what they do.
Yeah, I mean, looking at their past 5 games for the Warriors are currently they're struggling in their past 5. They are 2-3 in their last 5. Their most recent loss coming from the Pacers, which was a 108-96 loss. And as for the Raptors, they're doing even worse. They are 1-4 currently. They haven't won a game since the year started on January 1st of 2025, where they won against the Nets. But they lost to your Cleveland Cavaliers in a 132-126 game. So
that it was a close game on that one. I watched.
Yeah.
I kind of kept up with that a little bit. It stinks that we didn't score more, but that's just how it goes sometimes. I think it was a great game. I mean, I'm not saying the Raptors aren't a great team at all, even though they are 8-31. Even though they are 8-31, it doesn't make them just a bad team.
Yeah.
You could have a bad team, and just surprisingly, it just jumps out of nowhere.
Oh,
You never know.
absolutely. I mean, that's happened a lot of times in sports.
You
It's
look
happened
at
all
it.
the time.
You look at it in hockey. There's been quite a bit of teams. I mean, you look at some of the ones, and you're like, where did they come from?
Yeah,
How
I
did
mean-
they get so good?
I mean, like 2019, the St. like on January 3rd of 2019, the St. Louis Blues, they were at the very bottom of the league, and then they decided, hey, you know what? We know how to do ice
We know-
puck.
yeah.
Let's actually get our crap together.
Well,
and then they went on
look
to
at
win the Stanley Cup in 7 games, and we had it with in 2019, the Columbus Blue Jackets. They
Yes.
went against the Tampa Bay Lightning and managed to sweep them, who were the President's Trophy winners. It is paining me to say this, and I want to bash my head into a wall because I'm bringing it up, and I want to knock the hat off your head because I know you're laughing. I mean, have fun with your only playoff win ever, but, whatever.
We'll take
So
it.
that's beside the point.
We'll take it.
But the point is, and I mean, the Buccaneers, they've often, one year they were absolutely terrible in the 70s or 80s, I forgot the year. And then out of nowhere, they got Doug Williams and Leroy Silman, and they were like, hey, we can do football.
Yes.
We know sports ball. We can do this.
that would be
We
fun.
can do this.
It's good to see that.
As you can hear, people are yelling
You can't
sports
hear.
ball. It's very common.
It is.
Because we got the name
And
of
we
the
got
show.
a dog barking.
Yeah, there's
So-
there's like a pit bull, and it's absolutely precious.
So 7:30 tomorrow, you have the New York Knicks versus the Detroit Pistons.
Oh yeah, we're talking about sports again.
But both of them have been really good. As
Oh,
we wait for
Pistons.
this, give us a minute.
Hey, they did it.
Let's go Buffalo! Let's go Buffalo!
Anyway,
So-
so as we were saying,
And yes, if you guys know that I'm a Cleveland fan, and I know some of you on here know that I'm a Cleveland fan, he's a Tampa Bay fan, but we still root for the Bills when we're in here.
bandwagoning!
Only because we have no other option.
Because the Browns aren't good and the Buccaneers probably aren't making it that far. Because everybody on our team is injured.
I think you guys got a chance, but we'll see. But you look at the Detroit Pistons and
Yeah.
you look at New York Knicks. Both of them basically have like a 4 or 5 game difference between the two in records. I mean, this one I could almost go and see it. I could see it going either way if I could speak. But I could see it going. I could see it going either way, so we'll see how that goes out. What do you have on the stats and everything? What are they predicting? Who's the favorite for this matchup and everything?
According to ESPN, the current favored winner is the New York Knicks with a 62.3% chance to a Detroit 37.7. In the last 5 games, the Pistons have actually done pretty well for themselves. They've had a 4-1 record in the past 5 games, with their last game being against the Warriors, where they lost in a pretty close game. It was a 107-104 loss.
Ooh, wow.
And as for the Knicks, they have been the complete opposite. They've been 1-4 in their past 5 games.
Jeez.
Just struggling mightily
Wow.
here. Their only win in the past 5 games being against the Toronto Raptors. So hey, you know what? It's all coming around here.
Yeah, it was coming around. So,
but yeah, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I mean, like looking at the statistics, Karl Anthony Towns, or
Cat.
Cat. How did I forget his nickname? I don't sleep because I have gum brain, so leave me alone. I had a late night, all right, but
I understand.
hey, it could have been later, all right. I was scheduled to 2. I got out at 12.
Lucky dog.
Trust me. So Cat is currently 25.3 points per game and 55.2 field goal percentage, which is pretty good. And then you have Cade Cunningham leading the Pistons in points with 24.2 points per game and a 45.8 field goal percentage. And so I think I kind of understand why they're going with the Knicks here. I don't know if you should count out the Pistons, in my opinion.
I don't think you should, but at the same time, I think the Knicks may have it, honestly. Only because they've been really good, especially after last year when we saw them in the playoff run. I mean, they put up a fight against Cleveland Cavaliers last year, and I mean, the only reason I'm saying that is because it was a great game.
Oh, yeah.
It was a great series.
That was a great series.
So we'll see how that goes and everything. But I think the Knicks pull this out, and I think they do win. I think it's going to be a close game. If I had to predict the score, I'd say the score would probably be about 126 to 124, as I would say. I would say it would be. I'm saying it would be a close game because I don't think there's going to be. I mean, both of them are almost. If you look at the stats, both of them are almost even with points per game. You look at Karl Anthony Towns. He's done a really great job with the points per game and his field goal percentage. Yes, Cade Cunningham's field goal percentage is a little bit lower, about 10% lower than what Karl Anthony Towns is, but it's still it doesn't make a difference. If he can get in between, if he can get down low and everything, he could be good. I mean, it just depends on how it goes. But who do you think will win that game?
That's what's correct. I think the Knicks will pull it out. I said that I don't think we should count out the Pistons, but at the same time, I don't know. It's very much in the favor of the Knicks here, so I'm gonna say the Knicks, but I won't be surprised if the Pistons find a way to take home the W.
I swear that's going to be a meme alert where we've chosen the Knicks and they lose.
Just imagine it's like one of the biggest blowouts ever, and then we're just sitting here like,
don't look at us.
We don't have any words.
Don't tag us in anything.
And we know you don't want to hear them.
Don't tag us in anything. Now we go back, and it's a rematch.
Ooh.
Again, a rematch between the Grizzlies and the Rockets. Dylan Brooke, who we talked about earlier.
How about that? One of the biggest instigators going back to his roots with the Grizzlies, and I'm sure that. Wait, is that going to be in Memphis or is that going to be in Houston?
I believe that is in Houston. It is.
I think
so. Yes.
Okay.
It is in Houston. So I think that's going to be a really great game. I mean, right now, they've got. It's about 50. Wow, it
is almost 50-50 on the predictor scale.
So Gigi Jackson is a game time decision. Marcus Smart is out. Cam Spencer is out. Vince Williams Jr. is out. All 3 for Memphis. Tyree Eason is a game time decision, and Jabari Smith Jr. is out for Houston.
Jabari Ronald, is that what I hear? Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to make a difference. Even though Marcus Smart is out, he's one of their great players, I still think Memphis has a chance of winning this. If you still have John Morant on there, I mean, I'm sorry, but there's nothing is going to change on that.
He's fine in the West.
He's going to do
when
good.
you said that, man, oh, man, the memes were great. Especially after they lost to the Lakers, after he's like, oh, no, everybody, I'm fine, and then never mind. Like, that was, oh, man. But, yeah, Yeah, it's a very close game on the predictor. I mean, you have currently it does favor the Houstons, but it's by a 51.4% margin to the Grizzlies' 48.6, and so that is it's very close. So
it's going to be close. I think it is going to be. I still think Memphis pulls this out. Last January, about the exact same day, almost a year later, they played the Houston Rockets, and Memphis lost 119 to 115, which is the one that you had mentioned earlier. And then in October of last year, they played the Rockets again, and they lost 128 to 108. So, I mean, this one is going to be a close one.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot say I am definite that one team is going to win. I am
like by 1 point. It's just by 1 point. That would be.
I would say it's going to be a point, if not a couple points difference.
Yeah.
So, if you had to choose, for me, I'm going Memphis. I'm sticking with Memphis. They still have Ja Morant. Yes, they don't have Marcus Smart, but they can still click as a team. Who do you have? Looking at your different stats, let's look at the last 5 games for each one and see what you choose.
Yeah, the Grizzlies in the last 5 games are 2-3 currently, losing to the Rockets on the 9th, and they won a game against the Mavericks, 119 to 104, and then they lost to the Warriors, and they lost to the Kings, and they won a game against the Suns. So they're currently 2-3 in their last 5 games. As for Houston, they are 4-1 in their last 5.
Wow.
Beating Memphis, the Wizards. Like I said, it all comes around.
Yep.
It's like poetry. It rhymes. George Lucas joke there for you. They beat the Lakers. They lost to the Celtics, and they beat the Mavericks. So honestly, looking at that, and also just looking at actually, never mind, because the stat, because I mean the point leaders, it is in Memphis's favor here, because Jaren Jackson Jr. currently leads the team with 22.9 points per game and a 49.8 field goal percentage, while Jalen Green for the Rockets has a 20.4 points per game and a 41.9 field goal percentage. So I do kind of it's a tough call, because these two teams, they both seem really good, and with how like even they are on the predictor, and but also considering the fact that while the Rockets have been like way better, it's just way better. There you go. Look, I don't English. in their last 5 games, I mean, they've been way better, 4-1, and the Grizzlies being 2-3. But at the same time, the Grizzlies do have the upper hand in stats. So I'm gonna say, for the sake of parity, I'm gonna say the Rockets.
It's not a bad decision.
Yeah,
it's not a bad decision. I do think this is going to be a close game. It's just depending on which team shows up and if they're going to do good.
Yeah,
I said.
Also, it's good to say that for the sake of parity, because I don't want to just say the same team, like the same team you say over and over, and I don't want you to say the same team that I say over and over, because where's the fun in that? It's like boring.
Yeah. So now we're going on to Jimmy Butler and the Heat.
It all comes around
versus the Clippers, versus the Los Angeles Clippers.
Yep.
Both of them are really good. They're
both 20 and 17.
Yes. And actually, surprisingly, injury report, Jimmy Butler is actually out for this game.
Oh, yeah, because he's still suspended, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like you said earlier.
So great.
He's been suspended and everything.
Yeah, I'm not going to keep saying it all comes around, because at this point I'm just saying.
And of course, Jimmy Butler is out for this game. Josh Richardson is a game time decision. Drew Smith is actually out for the season. I think he has a season-ending. Drew Smith. I think he is out for a season-ending injury. I don't know specifically what that was for.
Here, I'll look it up real quick, because.
So he has to go. So he had to go. He had to undergo surgery.
Oh.
So he had to get season-ending Achilles surgery. He had a season-ending Achilles tear back in December when they played the Brooklyn Nets. So, I mean, it kind of sucks to see people have that happen to them, and I mean, it sucks to see that he's out for the season for that.
Absolutely.
But we'll see what happens, if anything. I mean, best wishes to him to get better and everything like that. But you look at this as well. Jordan Miller is game time decision, and P.J. Tucker for the Los Angeles Clippers, both for the Los Angeles Clippers, are out. Well, sorry, Jordan Miller is a game time decision. Oh man!
Ooh, a big hit right there on both players.
He's knocked out.
Yeah. The ball went went over him, and then the defenseman just cronwalled him. That was bad.
Again, when we post this, that's an automatic 15 yards right there. Unnecessary roughness, late hit. But I mean, when you see this, you will understand what we are talking about.
That was right on the head.
That is directly to the head.
Oh, yeah.
And you can just tell immediately he was knocked out.
Yeah,
but when you see this later on,
concerned.
when you see this later on today, you will see what we're talking about. We are uploading this later. When we're recording this, it's during the game.
Yeah.
But
we won't always do it here. We'll do it at like his apartment or something.
We'll be at my place or somewhere. But PJ Tucker is out for the game. Jordan Miller is a game time decision.
We'll be in the middle of the woods. Yeah, just doing the sports ball because we have to do it.
When we look back at the last two previous matchups that they had, and I mean you'll see this on your 5, I'm pretty sure. So February 4th of last year, they played each other. Clippers won 103-95. And then, I believe, is it on here? I don't know if it's January 1st of last year or this year.
No, wait.
So
no, it shows that the Clippers lost to the Thunder, but we'll get into that later.
So January 1st of last year, New Year's Day, the Clippers had also won 121-104 over the Heat. I mean, with not having Jimmy Butler and also having Drew Smith out for the season, how much is that going to hurt?
That could do a lot of damage.
Heat. So that's the question: is how much is that going to hurt? I honestly think that I want to say the Clippers are more than likely going to win this game, only because without Jimmy Butler, I mean, the Heat are a great team, I think, without Jimmy Butler, but at the same time, they're not as strong without him, in my opinion. So I think they need Jimmy Butler in order to win this game. So I think the Clippers pull this out and win this game.
Yeah, the matchup predictor tends to agree with you, Ron, because the match predictor on ESPN says 72.4% chance of the Clippers taking it home, with the Heat having the 27.6%, and the Clippers they're aiming to, and the LA Clippers are aiming for their 4th straight home win, and so they're trying to keep that streak alive.
I want to see that happen. I mean, we've seen a 15-game streak snapped, but you never know what could happen. And I mean, you've got quite a bit of different games going on that have different teams that have a streak going on right now. Yeah. I want to see some of those streaks go, but you never know what is going to happen.
Oh, it was running back Ray Davis was the guy who got hit. And
it's great to see that he's back up and walking.
Yeah, they're taking him down the tunnel. So yeah, that was just
look at that hit.
Oh God, yeah,
direct helmet to helmet, immediately knocked out.
Yeah, you might as well just get out. Just leave. All right, anyway,
let's see what happens.
That's fine, irrelevant. So. But yeah, so currently for the Heat, Tyler Hero leads the Heat with 23.8 points per game and a 46.9 field goal percentage, while Norman Powell leads the Clippers with 23.7 points per game and a 47.8 field goal percentage. And tickets to Ensue Dome in LA are as low as $29.
$29.
Trust me, I forgot which one it was. I forgot which game it was, but one of the games had tickets as cheap as $8.
I think that was the Carolina Panthers that you're thinking of.
What? No,
Carolina
no,
Panthers.
for the
NBA?
Yeah, for the NBA.
I know Carolina had pretty cheap tickets.
I was about to say, buddy, that's not the. You're thinking of the wrong sport.
But
sports
if you
ball,
had
my
to
friend.
choose between those two, who do you think is winning that? I mean,
Honestly,
yes,
I would say the Clippers. I would
the
say the
Clippers as
Clippers.
well?
I mean, look. The last 5 games, though, the Clippers have been struggling as they went 1-4 in their last 5, with their most recent loss being against the Denver Chicken Nuggets. I mean, just the Denver Nuggets. No joke, when I was a kid and I heard Denver Nuggets, I was like chicken nugget? I was like 3, okay. But yeah, so Denver Nuggets beat them 126-103. And as for Miami in their last 5, they actually they have the higher record here. They are 2-3 with their most recent victory coming against the Utah Jazz, 97-92.
could be a good one.
Yeah. So despite that though, I'm still gonna say the I'm still gonna say the Clippers.
Clippers. So
It
in
seems
the
like we have
final,
one more game.
one more game for tomorrow. It's the Los Angeles Lakers versus
Wemby.
the San Antonio Spurs.
Versus Wemby.
So these are really, it's crazy to see some of these. I mean, I want to say, like, with having the number 1 pick, and they've only met one time in the last year. They met in November, and the game went 119-101 in favor of the Lakers. I don't know. I'd say that could happen now. Yes, there are some game time decisions that they're saying on here for both teams, but I think either way, both teams have a great great stance with like their roster and everything that they have. I honestly see it going more towards Los Angeles. I mean, yes, I want to say Wembayama is going to be really good. But I think Los Angeles Lakers still pull this out and still possibly win this.
Yeah, it's understandable, and but I mean, you know, there is always the factor of course, probably one of the best players in the league right now for the Spurs. Wemby. I just like saying that. I don't know why. It's just
Sure
fun.
seems like it.
Fun to say that. But the matchup predictor seems to disagree with you here.
That is crazy.
It is favoring the Spurs currently, and as they face LA, the Spurs are trying to stop a 3-game skid. Currently.
Oh, did he catch that? Oh my gosh!
No way!
How did he catch that?
Oh my god!
Let's go, Buffalo! Let's go, Buffalo!
Yeah, that's my sister. That's my sister working at the bar. That's where we got the name for the podcast.
That it is crazy to see this catch happen.
Oh my goodness!
Now
That
let's.
was Ty Johnson, I think is his name.
Wow, that was a
wow.
nice.
Oh,
The question is, did he keep control? That's what always it comes down to.
yeah, it looks like it.
He's got it. I mean,
He's got it.
He's. Oh man.
Ooh. This one's gonna be close.
I think he's got possession. I think he's got it. I think he gets that. But I mean, this is what happens when you get 2 guys with ADHD working together.
And neither of us are on our meds.
So, but I mean, I think he's got that catch. I mean, that was a great catch and everything. So
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be close though. It's gonna be close.
if they do this, it'll be about at least 20-7. But right now, as it stands, it's 19-7 because they have not confirmed, stand, or overturned the call. But back to the Lakers.
Oh yeah,
San
basketball.
Antonio.
Yeah, basketball too. so yeah, the Spurs are favored to win it against LA with a 54.7 percentage over a 45.3 percentage. As for the season leaders, it is of course Wemby with 25.1 points per game, 47.9 field goal percentage. And for the Lakers, it is Anthony Davis with 25.8 points per game and a 51.9 field goal percentage. And as for the injury report, Jeremy Sochan,
I think it's Sochan.
Did I really just make a Star Trek? I just made a Star Trek reference.
Yes, you did.
And that is
yes, you did.
It's embarrassing. Leave me alone. But yeah, so he's a game time decision, and then there's Riley Minix, who is going to be out. As for the Lakers, Anthony Davis and LeBron James are both game time decisions.
That could hurt him, but yeah. I think they'll both still play. I could be wrong.
I think King James will be back.
He will.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you got Jalen Hood, Shafino, who is also a game-time decision. And then Christian Wood, game-time decision.
Jared Vanderbilt's out.
Jared Vanderbilt is the lone Laker that is out right now. So that's going to be a huge thing. But
yeah.
I still think LA could win this. Who do you think is going to win?
I think it might be a bit of a close match here. But I mean, it's possible that I don't know. I think it might be a bit close. I mean, looking at their last 5 games, they're both 2 and 3 in their last 5 games. The Spurs' most recent loss coming against the Bucks with a 121 and 105 loss, and the Lakers recently lost to the Mavs. 118 to 97. So, in my opinion, I can see a case for the Lakers, but I still think it's going to be. I think it's still going to be the Spurs.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be a great game. We know that for sure.
It's going to be a good game.
It's going to be an awesome game.
And
wow, Bills are going for 2.
Wow. But yeah, that's it for our predictions for the NBA. I think that's taken up a majority of our stuff here.
It has, but hey, we got to have a little fun. But also, we've gotten a little off track with like the game and everything.
Yeah.
And that's a 2-point conversion.
And the Bills have done it. Let's go, Buffalo! Let's go, Buffalo!
Little bit of delay there, but now we're moving in.
Yeah, so what were we saying? Oh yeah, Sportsball. So
now moving into the NFL.
Yep.
There have been quite a bit of different things. One thing that I am seeing, per reports, the NFL is considering possibly changing the playoff seeding format for the off season.
Wow, really?
So what they are saying is top 4 teams by win percentage would get a home game as opposed to division winners. So instead of having like the division winners of like the AFC North, NFC North, all those different divisions in the NFL, they're going to change it to where it's win percentage. Do I think that should be allowed? I mean, I think it is a great decision, but at the same time, you earn that spot in being the division leader.
Yeah.
So already 3 teams this weekend are already on the road that have a better record than their division leader. So we already saw Los Angeles Chargers had to go to the Houston Texans. They lost last night. You have Minnesota that's having to travel to the Los Angeles Rams. And then, of course, you've got Washington going to your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they have a better record. So that's the question.
The Bucs have the better record, or the Commanders?
Washington has a better record.
Yeah, stupid. I've got the teams mixed up.
So that's what it's going to look like. I mean, I don't know if I agree with it. I think they should keep it with the division leaders because they have earned that top seed in their division and everything.
Yeah.
But, I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think they should be able to keep, like, do you think it should go to win percentage, or do you think they should give it to the division leaders?
I think it should stay with the division leaders because you earn that spot.
Exactly.
You earn that spot. Like you've proven yourself to be the best of the best. So if you want to get that top seed, you have to earn it.
Yeah.
And so when you earn that,
I think
you deserve that. So at the end of the day, I think it should stay with the division leaders. But whatever the football gods decided. So, speaking of the Buccaneers, recently we had a very big stat. I mean, it was everywhere.
That was crazy.
Mike Evans has joined Jerry Rice as the only wide receivers in NFL history with 11 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons, and that is an unbelievable stat.
I think he is going to beat him. I think he's going to have another 1,000-yard next year.
Oh yeah,
and that's just me. But
and here's the crazy thing: you gotta remember, he was out for a majority of this season,
and with that
injury that he faced. I don't remember who it was against. I think it was the Ravens. I don't remember. But yeah, he did suffer that injury, and so even like if he was able to do this while being out for a majority of the season, and he was able to just come right back and be like, all right, I'm back. Now, time to be really good. Then there's no telling about next season. He could probably exceed. I mean, it's an incredible stat, and I always loved how that whole thing happened because it was the end of the game. I mean, Bucky Irving got the game-winning touchdown, and the Falcons had already lost. So at that point, the Bucs were just they were just going for it, and they made a point to make sure that Mike could get those final yards, and they let the clock run out as soon as he got that.
And the thing is, a lot of people would probably say like, well, why would you do that instead of just kneeling it down? Why would you not? Why would you throw it to him? In my opinion, the reason why they did that is because they wanted to get him that record, and I know they wanted to do that. But at the same time, I mean, you already made your statement about winning that game and everything. You already clinched your spot into the playoffs, as well as clinched the spot to the NFC South.
Absolutely. Yes.
So it shouldn't be. I understand if you think it's disrespectful, but at the same time.
How would it be disrespectful? Because
it's the end of the game.
Well, yeah, but if it's your team, you would want to do that. Say your star wide receiver is about to get a record, and it's finally it's like, would you just end the game and rob him of that chance, or would you just want to throw it to him just so he can get to it? I mean, I just think that's a bit iffy.
No, and I completely understand. I am not saying anything against that.
No.
I think it was a great decision, but some people would look at that and say it's disrespectful. It's just like saying how you would score, like if you were up 6-9 or like 9-6 in I would say like a huge game or something in hockey, and it would just they just score on that just for fun.
Like at the end of the day, it's like I understand why some people might be a bit upset, but at the same time, it's like, hey man, let him have it, okay?
Exactly.
He was like he spent most of the season injured, and then he came back. He had an incredible season. He deserves this, all right?
I think he does.
And I'm willing to bet that most of the people complaining are
just haters.
No, they're probably how should I put this? Perhaps they're salty.
Keep it. I was about to say, keep it family friendly, buddy.
I will, dude. What did you think I was going to say? No, I'm saying that they were salty. Maybe they're fans of a certain team
that's his sister, who we got the name off of.
From a song by the Animals called "House of the Rising Sun," perhaps.
New Orleans.
Yeah, I was trying to be subtle.
Oh, well.
I don't know.
We look back at
anybody that knows me knows I'm about as subtle as a bag of hammers.
But we look back at the two games that happened this past weekend. You had the Texans.
Oh, he's going down to the pit, and he didn't make it.
He did good.
Yeah, that was a good run.
But you had the Texans and Chargers. Texans won 32-12.
Woo!
And I mean, that was a great win. You had the Ravens, who went up. I believe at halftime. Yes, at halftime it was 21-0 the Ravens, and they ended up winning 28-14.
I know a certain sports YouTuber that's not going to be happy about that. Love that guy. All the love to Schlasser. He's great.
There's two more games going on today. You've got one going on right now that we're watching as we're recording this, not as it's going on. But you look at it, I mean, if I had to pick the two Super Bowl, like if I had to choose two teams to go on to the Super Bowl, in my opinion, I think the Bills have a chance to win.
Oh, yeah.
So I think it's going to be the Bills. If I had to go on the other side to the NFC, I would say the Buccaneers, but Detroit Lions right now are doing really well.
Yeah.
They have proven to be a Super Bowl contending team. So I think it is going to be the Bills and the Lions.
That's the Super Bowl America wants.
Yes.
But since the football gods hate us, it'll probably be the Chiefs versus the Eagles.
Hopefully it's not the Chiefs, but we'll see how it goes. But I mean, it's just depends.
Oh my God. I'm imagining like. So wait, so who's facing them next? Exactly, because I know they have the bye week. So
the Chiefs technically get the lower of the seats that end in the AFC. So we would have to see who has that next week.
Oh,
because right now the Bills, I believe. Let me look up my notes here.
Whoever's facing them in the first round has the opportunity to do the greatest thing ever. Oh my God!
Currently, right now the Bills are second in the AFC, so they are definitely not going up against the Chiefs unless the Chiefs win and they go on to the championship, and the Bills win and go on to the championship for the AFC. But right now, it looks like if you had to go with the lower seed, it's going to come down to, I mean, Baltimore is number 3. You've got, it just depends on who we see goes on. If you look at the standings or the playoff bracket right now, I mean, currently right now, it would at least be the Texans facing the Chiefs. Do I think they have a chance? No. I don't think they do, so I think it's going to come down to the Bills and the Chiefs again in the AFC Championship, and Bills get their revenge, move on to the Super Bowl, and have to face the Lions. Right now,
pray to God they don't have another wide right moment like they did back in the day.
Lord have mercy.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, you're lucky.
I think Mike.
You're lucky that he's not.
He felt the two horrible words that every Buffalo sports fan. Well, the other two words that haunt every Buffalo sports fan, because the other one is no goal. But you know.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah. So it's like it. I feel like I'm gonna have to sit outside.
You look at the other one, and it's like the Buccaneers and the Commanders go up against each other.
They're going to Raymond James. So I'm leaning towards the Buccaneers. Like, not even with my bias.
Yeah.
Like a home game at Tampa is.
It's completely different. Fun. If I had to say anything, I do think Tampa Bay will win that game. I do think Tampa Bay will win that game, and luckily they won't have to go up against the Lions unless. Well, no, they won't have to. Because either way, if the Rams or Vikings win and Eagles win as well, you would just have to go up against the Eagles because the lower-ranking team goes up against the number 1 seed.
Yeah, but here's my big concern with the Buccaneers. All the injuries. I mean, like, our defense got decimated this season. It felt like everybody of value got injured. You know, you had Godwin out and stuff like that. You have a lot of players injured. And so that is going to be a major concern for the Buccaneers going into this game against the Commanders.
Yep.
Because it's possible that Baker Mayfield he's probably had his best season ever as a football player, and so.
We're live. It's like a podcast.
Nah, we ain't live.
Yeah,
we're just recording right now.
Y'all want a good joke?
Oh Lord.
Sorry, what'd you say?
Good joke.
All right, apparently we're hearing a joke. What's up?
All right. My name's Alaska Pete.
Alaska
And
Pete?
I'm here to tell you. Alexa told me this joke. You know who Alexa is, right?
Yeah, let's say that like
Computer that talks to you?
Yeah.
All right. So she says, Pete, would you like to hear a joke? I'm like, I didn't even know she told jokes. Why are the Cowboys America's favorite team?
Why are the Cowboys America's favorite team?
Why is that?
Y'all are pretty smart. Why do you think?
Because they lose all the time?
No, because they're called America's team because they're going to win the Super Bowl with the rest of America.
Oh my!
Because they watch the Super Bowl with the rest of America.
That's a good one. Thank you for that.
Oh, See, we can't. I
have to keep. I'm sorry, but I'm keeping that in.
Here's the thing. So, my mom loves the Buccaneers, but she has a Troy Aikman jersey because she liked the Cowboys in the '90s. So, and I was hoping that we didn't have to say this, but I think.
How about that Cowboys?
No. We gotta. How about them Cowboys? All right. So before I end up sleeping on the roof tonight, let's continue with sports.
But I mean, then we go into
Mom.
a whole bunch of different. You had a whole bunch of different firings as well with the coaches and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean,
New England got rid of
that
theirs. There's different ones. I would have to go through and find them again.
Yeah, Mayo is out from the Pats.
Yeah. So Vrabel has just taken over the new spot. It's not confirmed, but there is in talks with Mike Vrabel and the Patriots about getting there. So the question is, who's going to fill those other positions? I don't know.
Bring back the hoodie.
Because there's so many different coaches that were fired, and I mean, it was just crazy how. I remember seeing all these, I was sitting there and I watched it, I'm like, why are so many, coaches being fired over what they've done and everything? New York Giants are the only ones that are keeping their GM and their head coach, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, and it's caught! A beautiful
still
play!
going.
And it's going, and it's a touchdown for the Bills! Unbelievable! On time this time. How about that?
So, like we said
My
before,
goodness, and it was a throw. He
That
got
was
it. He was right there on the
crazy.
sideline, and he was flustering the defense. He made it all. He just went right through and got in the end zone.
Honestly, I think that just seals their deal to make it on to the next round.
Sorry Broncos, but never mind. I should stop talking because it is fourth quarter, and I do not want to do the, and I don't want to make a 28-3 joke.
And there we go. Oh, he got that. He got that.
Okay, he got it. I was about to say, this is going to be another wide right moment for the Bills. Okay, now I'm pretty sure.
But
Mike's
I mean,
gonna
we'll
strangle
see
me, but
how
let's
each
continue.
coaching position goes on. I mean, I could see different ones taking over that position. I was not expecting Mike Vrabel to honestly go to the Patriots.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Because he's been a backup coach, or he's been a coach for the Browns for this whole season and everything. Because after he left the Titans, he was head coach of the Titans, got fired, and then the Browns picked him up, and now he's going to the Patriots. Do you think he can bring the Patriots from what they were this season and bring them back to possibly a winning team? Not a Super Bowl contending team, but I'd say a winning team. I think he has the chance, but at the same time, he's going to have to get quite a bit of good players just to get it going.
It's gonna be a very hard road. I mean, since the loss, guys like Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Buccaneers legends, and Bill Belichick left. I mean, since all that,
Not a Buccaneers legend.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Since their dynasty of the 2010s, the Patriots they have certainly. They've tapered off hard. Everybody's willing to smoke on the Patriots pack. It's going to take a big effort to try to get them back to relevancy. So
it will take them a while, but I think they could be able to get it, but I don't know.
Do I think it'll be with this new coach? Maybe.
Probably
It's going to take the turnaround of his life.
Yeah.
Because he was a very hot, he was kind of a hot and cold coach with the Titans.
Oh yeah.
He was very iffy.
So I do have the most updated roster, at least from when I last looked at it. Sorry, not the roster, but the draft order.
Yeah,
the last draft
I was about to say,
order that I
the
have.
roster. What did the teams all join one team?
But if I had, so here's how the order stands as of when I got this. It was a few days ago. So Tennessee Titans hold the number 1 spot after their loss and after New England won against the Bills. Now, of course, the Bills, obviously, they didn't win because they were in.
Yeah.
They didn't put in their starters. They had
didn't
Josh
care.
Allen. They had Josh Allen in there for 1 snap, and he's done it so good.
I remember when we were watching this game here, because we were watching the Bills game here. I remember after the Bills lost, I just got up and yelled, "Haha, New England screwed themselves up in the first round pick. The first overall pick.
They did.
They ruined their tank."
So then you have, at number 2, you have my Cleveland Browns. We did not have a good season this year. Hopefully we can pull it back next year. But that all depends on who we put in as starting quarterback. And who we
Don't
get
put
for
in
this one.
Watson.
Watson is actually, I don't know if you saw this, Watson's 2025 season is actually a little bit in jeopardy because he might not be able to play due to his Achilles injury.
Wow.
He actually ruptured it. So the question is going to be whether he is going to
And
be...
also because of that case. Did that get dropped? I didn't hear.
I don't know quite a bit about that one. But yeah, because of that
If it's
Achilles
true,
injury.
then, burn.
But I mean, his Achilles injury is what's going to hurt him. He absolutely ruptured his Achilles on that game. So he's going to have to go through that. At number 3 is the New York Giants. Haven't been really good that year, but
Haven't been really that good.
yeah. There have been some games where they've been good. It just depends.
Yeah, sometimes,
But
sometimes.
and then of course you have who we just mentioned before, number 4, New England Patriots. They had their chance. If they would have lost the last game, they would have had the number 1 overall pick.
But they screwed their tank, so it's fine.
And Bo Nix gets a long run.
Wow, that was a big run by Bo.
Number 5.
And then we had the Jaguars, and
Yes.
and honestly, I think their season was over the second Trevor Lawrence got taken out. I mean, he's been a very inconsistent quarterback, but oh my God,
that hit is what kind of messed him up. I mean, I wouldn't say they've been inconsistent because he's been decent and everything when he's played, but we'll
there have
see
been
how
some
they go.
times where he's like, "Really, dude? Why did you do that?"
Yeah. You got number 6 now with the 6th overall pick. You have the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yep, yeah, the Raiders. And it's understandable. They've been a mess this season.
Yeah, they have been, but I mean, at least they can finally pull in, see what they can get. Hopefully they can get, like, I would say a good quarterback. Well, I don't know if I want to say quarterback because Derek Carr has been a good quarterback for him. Or the quarterback that they have now. Sorry, Derek Carr's on the New Orleans Saints. So
Waiting for you to figure that out. Wait, I was waiting.
But they have a great quarterback. He just needs to get a little bit better. I mean, yes, he's a rookie, but he can get better at it as he goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's his first season. Like, it's his first season.
First season.
Yeah, it's his first season. You can't judge him too hard.
Bo Nix again with a run and a first down. Man,
good old Bo Nix. He's been a story.
And then at number 7, you have the other New York team,
The Jets.
The Jets.
God,
at number
what a
7.
I mean,
after
it's
even
crazy.
when everybody thought when Aaron Rodgers came back, they were going to be really good this season. And I mean, that's the thing. A lot of people thought when he was coming back, he would be really good, bring him back. But I think they deserve to be in that number 7 spot. They've done really good for part of the season, but they need to get a little bit better.
And then there was that whole thing with their owner nixing a trade for Jared Judy. Was that
Jared Judy.
Yeah, because of his Madden rating.
Whether that's true or not,
That's the kind of crap that happens in like a Family Guy episode. That's like South Park level shenanigans. You don't. It's like, oh really? Well, his Madden rating isn't good enough, and therefore, I mean, he could probably be good for our franchise, but nah. Like, really, dude? You do realize there is like way more to
look
that.
Look at how great he's done again with the Browns. He's done really good.
Yeah.
We look at number 8 now, Carolina Panthers. Started out not so hot, especially with that number 1 overall pick that they had with Bryce Young.
Bryce Young actually, he's gotten better.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't start out as hot as they thought he would do. And now he's kind of started to pick it back up a little bit. Do I think they're going to be back up to that playoff contender spot? No, I don't think they could get that. unless they can get a better QB than Bryce
Cam
Young. Jeez, Cam Newton's never coming back.
Bring him back.
So,
Just for fun. Just for the jokes.
then I may have messed up this order because I put a team twice here. Hold on.
Oh wait, did they trade for a first round pick or something, or is that or did you? Okay.
I think I might have messed it up.
Great job, Ron.
So at the number 9 spot is actually the New Orleans Saints.
Oh yeah.
I accidentally put down, for some odd reason, I put down the Las Vegas Raiders again, but it's for sure the New Orleans Saints.
Down in New Orleans. But yeah, so the New Orleans Saints, they were a very, very messy team. They were kind of a mess this year.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how they go. I mean, Derek Carr could put it back pretty good. He's been a really good quarterback.
I mean, that game against hey, you got the team right. I'm proud of you. I mean, that game against Tampa where they did end up where the Bucks clinched the
NFC South.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
There's one right there for you.
How about that? They don't sponsor us. But yeah, so excuse me. But yeah, I mean that game for the Saints. I mean they started out pretty good, and then they were just like, we give up. Right? And then they fell apart, which is.
And then, of course, at number 10 is Chicago.
The Bears.
There it is. So the Bears
Bears.
are at number 10. I mean, getting that trading Justin Fields and taking him to, sending him to Pittsburgh, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say it was a trade, but at the same time, he did one out. I don't know why he did that. He was really great being there at Chicago. I thought he could have brought him to playoff contention, and they just decided, oh yeah, instead of trying to keep him there, they were going to trade him away and go for Caleb Williams, who was not that good in his last season at college football. Yes, he is a Heisman winner, but he is not that good. I don't think he was that good. And I mean, it's proven. Now they have one of the top 10 spots in the NFL draft. I don't know if they'll bring it back or not. At number 11, a shock for me is the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh yeah.
But of course,
what happened to them, dude?
But of course, with with McCaffrey, I think that's what hurt him is not having McCaffrey for part of that season.
Yeah,
I mean,
that'll do it. That'll do it.
Not saying McCaffrey is the head of that team, but when you don't have a great running back, it's not going to be good. So, we'll see. And Denver just turned it over on down, and there's a little bit of another injury.
There's an injured Bills player, number 39, not sure who it is.
But, I mean, we'll see how they do next year. Hopefully they do good. And, of course, number 12, one of your mom's favorite teams.
How about them Cowboys?
Cowboys are at number 12.
I'm gonna get grounded, dude. Come on, you can't do this to me.
Luckily, this won't go live. This won't be posted until later on today. So hopefully, you're asleep by the time she sees it. Hopefully. But
It's all
Dallas Cowboys, I think it could be a great team. But when they lost
America's team.
When they have lost some of their players and everything, I don't think they haven't been the same. I mean, I don't think they have a chance. If they can get good players to play on the team or get some of their players to come back, I think they could be a championship. I should say a conference championship. I don't know about Super Bowl championship winning team.
Come on, do you really think they'd ever make the Super Bowl again?
You never know.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that kind of messed with their season was Dak Prescott getting injured. I mean that
hurt him so bad.
That was a big loss for them. I mean, like he's arguably one of their best players right now. So, you know, losing a guy like him, especially since it was like the middle of the season, like that's going to cause a lot of damage for your team, especially when you're trying to get back into the playoffs and you're not trying to tank like Tennessee is or whatever.
Yeah. Nice reference there.
What? Oh. I know, hilarious.
Number 13 is the Miami Dolphins with the 13th overall pick, Miami Dolphins. That's going to be, I don't know how to feel about that one. I mean, Miami I thought was going to be good, but at the same time you had Tua that had another concussion, I think, this year. And then, of course, you had Tyreek Hill out with like a foot
guy's going to end up
injury.
like Eric Lindros. He's barely going to be able to think.
I mean, that's the problem. It's like, I feel bad for Tua. Do I think he should retire? No, I don't think he should. But at the same time, you have to look at your history, look at what's going on and everything with that.
And I mean, you mentioned Tyreek Hill, and Tyreek Hill wants out of Miami, apparently.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he said, quote, "I'm opening the door. I'm out, bro. It was great playing here, but at the end of the day, I got to do what's best for my career. I'm too much of a competitor to just be, to be just out there." And so, you know, that'll be a really big loss.
Who do you think he will go to?
I got no idea. I mean, like, I haven't heard any rumors yet. I haven't. Just for fun, let's say the Browns. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure who he.
I mean, even if he goes to the Browns, I don't think he would pop off as much. I think he wants to go to a championship caliber team.
Okay, so not the Browns.
We could be a championship caliber team if we could play well. But I would have to say, I think he would go to the Bills.
Oh,
but that's just me.
That would be interesting.
I think he would.
Would they be able to take him on? That's
if they could, I mean, they've got great. I mean, they could switch him in and out if they have to, all that kind of stuff.
Please don't go to Kansas City. I'm begging you, please.
If he goes to Kansas City, we're about done for.
Then I'm just gonna quit Sportsball and I'm gonna go live in the woods.
Oh Lord! And number 14 is the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh my God, they were a mess.
Well, when they lost Anthony Richardson halfway through the year, I mean, that kind of sucked.
That was the death knell. So that was the death knell.
But we have that. Number 14 or 15, excuse me, is the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
Atlanta Falcons. I mean, yes, they brought on. I think it's Kirk Cousins that they brought.
Oh my God, Kirk Cousins. He was actually good for a little while, and then you just fell off. And then they threw in Michael Penix Jr. and he was like, all right, I know what. So
Michael Penix Jr. I mean, I understand they put him in, but at the same time, they need to look at it and look and realize that that they need to have Kirk Cousins in there because he's more experienced. If I were to say, like, look at the different rookies. The only rookie that has actually done good, I would say, in the past couple of games, I don't even know if Caleb Williams or who's even better. Was Caleb Williams better or was Bryce Young better between the two? I mean, you have some of these rookies that don't do good when they first start out.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, the NFL is it's like a
completely
whole other
different,
world.
yeah.
So you know, it's gonna be a little different.
You never know. So we'll see how they do. And number 16 is the Arizona Cardinals.
Poor Cardinals.
I mean, Kyler Murray is good, but they need to be better.
Yeah, Kyler Murray's been solid.
Yeah. So
then the Bengals.
We got number 17, the Bengals.
Or the Bungles. That's a meme.
For them to be number 17 kind of shocks me. Yeah. They were doing really good this year. Kind of had a late push and then just kind of fell off. Was not able to make it to the playoffs.
Joe Burrow can't do it all.
I know. I mean, he does a really great job, but I mean, they've got a really great team. They've proven that so many times, year after year after year. They have a possible Super Bowl winning team. And yes, I know I'm talking about the Cincinnati Bengals as a Cleveland Browns fan. I don't care. But
this guy.
But I know they have a Super Bowl contending team. It just depends on how they want to show up, what they want to do with it.
Yeah, it's like they have all that power on them, and there are times where they just completely blow it. So it's like they're close, but they're never close enough.
Yeah. At number 18, the last one that I know of as of right now is the Seattle Seahawks. They have the 18th spot. They have ever since they lost Russell Wilson and pulled in Geno Smith. Geno Smith is good, don't get me wrong. But ever since Russell Wilson kind of fell off a little bit, they haven't been the same. It's not that Legion of Doom or Legion of Boom that they have anymore.
Legion of Doom.
Not Legion of Doom. That is a wrestling team.
Meanwhile,
Legion
of Doom, a.k.a. Seattle.
But, I mean, I think, I don't know if Seattle can pull this back out. I mean, Geno
Now you
Smith
got
is
me thinking
really good. Holy cow, what a catch. But, I mean, we'll see how it goes. But that's just the 18 teams.
I'm sorry, now I just imagine, I feel bad because I forgot his name, but the Seahawks old coach, like a little while ago,
Yeah.
I'm just imagining him just like as like a crappy DC going like, Batman, I will lead the Seahawks to the Super Bowl. Pete Carroll was me. I knew his first name was Pete. I'm just imagining he's like, Batman, you will never be able to stop me from taking my team to the Super Bowl. Last week the Patriots won.
But also in other sports, this is from NCAA college football. This is breaking as of yesterday. Breaking news per reports. Former Michigan QB Alex Orji.
Shut it.
Orja, however you say his name, committed to UNLV.
Wow.
He will have 2 years of eligibility remaining. He played 20 games at Michigan and started 3 games in 2024. He's a dual threat who has accounted for 7 career TDs.
That's crazy.
As he told reports here, it felt like a great opportunity to go out to Vegas with Coach Mullen and Coach Dennis. He said of new UNLV coach Dan Mullen and QB coach Corey Dennis. It's an opportunity to cultivate winning culture.
That's great. I did not know he went there.
I don't know if it's a good move on him. I mean, UNLV is a great team. UNLV is a great team. Do I think he should go there? I don't think so. I think he should stay with where he's at, take another year, see what happens.
Yeah,
I mean,
you don't want to just jump way too quickly because then you might end up making a decision that you regret just because you're like, oh, I want to go here, and then what if it doesn't work out? Then it's kind of like, oh.
Welcome to the transfer portal, buddy. That's how the transfer portal has been, and now we switch over our mindset to NHL. What specific news do you have out of NHL?
So a big story that's actually been making the rounds recently, besides current stories and whatnot, is the possible return of a former face of the league in Jonathan Toews. Now, this has been big news recently because Jonathan Toews has not played for a very long time. He hasn't played since. Let me see my notes here. He hasn't played since April 13th of 2023 with the Chicago Blackhawks, and he's played for the Blackhawks his entire career. He was selected 3rd overall by Chicago in the 2006 NHL draft, and he became the captain of the Blackhawks at the age of 20.
Wow.
In 2008, all the way up to 2023.
That's only what, a couple years older than you right now?
Yeah, I'm 18, so look at all those 18-year-olds in the NHL. Connor Bedard scoring goals left and right, and I sometimes forget where the hell I put my keys.
Him and Bedard, Toews and Bedard.
Oh my God, that would
those two together. That's going to be.
Can you imagine? It'd be like Kane. It'd be like the second coming of him and Kane.
God.
Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane arguably had one of the best duos of the 2010s.
Yes.
I mean, that Blackhawks dynasty was like, despite all the bad stuff that came out about it, it was incredible the things that they managed to do. I mean, they went from being bottom of the league to being on top, and one of the things that helped was Jonathan Toews, drafting him and brewing him to be the leader and stuff like that. See, he left.
I was about to say, what caused him to leave and have this kind of hiatus of
He was playing for the Blackhawks and they suck. I'm kidding, of course.
I knew you were going to say that.
See, you knew.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, so what happened was he left the game due to a chronic immune response syndrome and COVID, but it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
And so, and he's currently at the age of 36. He completed a healing journey in India, which is something.
Who does he think he is? Aaron Rodgers? Aaron Rodgers took a hiatus by himself.
Oh my God! No way! It's Jonathan Toews is Aaron Rodgers conspiracy. It's all connected.
I gotta figure out what this unsportsmanlike.
Okay, so.
What? Well, that's just a late hit on him.
Yeah.
And Josh Allen that they called it. Look how
He's
he gets up and
he's
just
like,
looks at
"Oh,
his
my
finger."
thumb.
What is his? I mean, that could have, in my opinion, that flag could have gone either way. First
Yeah.
off, the guy's holding him. Yes, he pushed him in the face, but I think the guy's more holding him. That should be counted as an unsportsmanlike conduct. Both should be. But back to
after completing a healing journey in India, which it's just
It's crazy,
it's
but-
good for him. It's good for him.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of funny.
It is a little bit funny.
It's just like, you're just like, imagine you're just some dude in India hanging out, and then out of nowhere, like, you're working at like a restaurant, and then Blackhawks legend Jonathan Toews comes in, and you're just like,
Hello.
oh, okay. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Well, what was
it's funny, but according to an NHL insider, Frank Saravelli, he said that he said on Prime Canada, on a Prime Canada podcast, broadcast, I can't English, that Toews is skating again and is back to his playing weight. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan Toews, he was like a star in the NHL for a very long time, and so with all this news about him coming back, the question is, where is he going to end up? Because according to various reports, he's unlikely to return to Chicago, and that's going to be so awkward.
Chicago needs to try and get him back.
Yeah,
because
but
I mean, Bedard has been good, but they need Toews, however the hell you say
it. It's Toews. My dad literally does the same thing. He calls him Toes, and I'm like, it's Toews, you silly beast.
Watch it now. Toews,
What?
I think his best match is in Chicago. I don't think he could go anywhere else. Because if him, like I said earlier, and you agreed with me, if him and Bedard get together, think of how, oh my gosh, that would be...
But here's another thing, is that if he comes back, he won't be captain, because they gave the captaincy to a veteran in Nick Foligno. And so if he came back, he might get the A, or he might just come back and just be a normal guy.
Doesn't matter. I mean, even if he comes back as like an assistant.
Like if you're like an alternate captain.
Excuse me, I need to get my terms right.
Yeah.
But if he comes back as an alternate captain, it doesn't matter. I think he's still going to do great and everything.
Yeah.
So,
since the reports are saying that it's unlikely he'll come back to the Windy City, I've heard of 3 total teams that are apparently pursuing Kane or could be a good fit for him. The Toronto Maple Leafs, the Colorado Avalanche, and the Winnipeg Jets. And honestly, that's pretty interesting. Those are the 3 teams that have been linked to him.
Out of all of those,
I
think the Leafs are probably the better of the 3. The only reason
I'm a bit more towards the Jets, honestly.
I mean, the only reason I'm saying
he's from Manitoba. I mean, he has a lake named after him in Manitoba, even.
That is true. But we never know until we'll find out as soon as he goes there. But I mean, it just depends. I mean, in the NHL, it's been a crazy year, honestly, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's been so much stuff going on. I mean, this past off season there was like all kinds of insane signings. You had all kinds, like, you had Steven Stamkos leaving the Lightning, which is just it's a crazy thing. Like it still doesn't feel real that he went.
You have teams that weren't good before and are now doing really good, which is surprising.
Like the Blue Jackets. Like, I'm not even trying to diss them.
Blue Jackets.
I mean, last year they were like, I think they were at the bottom of the division.
We were horrible last season.
Yeah. And they did end up suffering that tragedy of Johnny Gaudreau passing away.
Yes.
I mean, that was horrible. Wait, why were you pointing your finger at me?
I thought you were going to go a different direction, but
no,
happens sometimes.
I'm not going to joke about anything like that.
It happens sometimes, but how are you doing?
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Greg?
What's going on, bud? How are you?
Oh, okay.
We had a couple of our friends come in who have been supporting us for probably a while now, ever since we first met them.
Yeah.
They've been all about this thing. So
Yeah, great. They're great people.
shout out to Greg and his wife and his kid as well for being there for us, being supportive of us and doing this. Thank you to Mike for being supportive of us as well, owner of Flanagan's, for allowing us to do this and be supportive.
And thank you to my mom for getting this podcast mic for me for Christmas like 3 years ago.
Thank you to both of our families, actually, for allowing us to do this. It's been awesome.
We're doing thank yous now.
So, yeah, we wanted to get the thank yous out there.
Thank you to Ron for having a laptop that doesn't suck.
But
I'm working on getting mine.
But we look at the NHL and everything, and I mean, there's different teams going around. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, like one of the biggest surprises of the year has been the Nashville Predators and how much they suck. I mean, how many games did they lose in a row? I think they were close to 15. They lost like 14, like about 11 or 13 games in a row, and then they just decided, hey, let's shut out the Bruins, and then it went on from there. I have a coworker that's a Bruins fan, and I've been talking crap to her about it ever since. But besides the point, and like, I mean, they had a really big offseason. I mean, Barry Trotz managed to sign Stamkos. He managed to sign Jonathan Marchessault from Vegas, and he got Brady Shea from the Hurricanes. And they managed to extend Jussi Saros, who a lot of people thought was gonna end up packing his bags and heading for New Jersey, but he stayed. And now, not only are they just a really bad team, but they've also been very inconsistent. I mean, there have been nights where they're shutting out opponents, and then there's nights where they're losing, where they might as well just
pack it away.
They might as well just have like Jussi Saros just go sit down in the corner and play NHL 25.
Yeah.
It's a mess. I remember a while ago we were talking about the Rangers and how there's been a ton of drama throughout that organization and how their team. Oh Jesus! Hey! Let's go Buffalo! Let's go Buffalo! Okay, so
we got caught off guard by that.
Jesus. Okay, so what we're talking? Oh yeah, I mean, they traded away their captain to Anaheim, which is kind of funny because that's the third captain that they've traded in a row that they've traded, but he wasn't named.
Stop doing this stuff.
He wasn't named Ryan, so he can't go to Tampa. Lightning legends Ryan Callahan and Ryan McDonough. And
I was wondering when that was going to happen.
McDonough is a Stanley Cup champion, didn't you hear?
Oh, hush you.
Yeah.
But I mean,
it's all right. It's all right. None of your players win stuff.
Unbiasedly, who do you think is going to be the two in the Stanley Cup?
Oh, you can't do this to me. God, that's actually tough.
That's why I said unbiasedly, because
that's tough. Because I mean, here's the thing: I don't even know if Tampa would make it because I mean they've been kind of an iffy team. Like their main issue is in backup because Jonas Johansson he has an NHL job. That's all I can say. But in terms of teams that I think could make it to the finals, my current prediction is going to be. And I'm probably going to eat my words, so just enjoy that. I think it's going to be the Minnesota Wild and the Washington Capitals.
Really?
I think the Capitals and Wild could make it. I mean, the Capitals have been a surprise start. I mean, they barely made it to the playoffs before they got swept by the Rangers, and now they're on top of everything, even with the Ovi injury, and they've been unbelievable. Like Dylan Strome's been great and stuff like that, and Logan Thompson in that he's been a godsend, and they even managed to solve the whole Pierre-Luc Dubois situation where he sucked with the Kings, and then he came over and he's like, hey, I'm good now, and stuff like that. And I mean, the Minnesota Wild, they've been very good. I mean, Kirill Kaprizov, he's been one of the best players in the league so far, and Philip Gustafsson scored a goal. He scored a goal. He's a goaltender.
For me, I can't really say. I want to say the Vegas Golden Knights could have a chance.
Oh my God, the Bruins are in a wild card spot.
Just above the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, the Blue Jackets they're doing pretty good. Like Sean Monahan's been very good on that team.
So we'll see how that goes. I don't want to say our Columbus Blue Jackets will make it to Stanley Cup. I think we'll make it a decent amount. I don't know if we'll make it very far.
I think you guys might make the playoffs.
I think we make the playoffs, but I don't know if we make it very far. So we'll see how that goes.
They might make a pretty big splash before the trade deadline to bring in a little more talent, because I mean, you never know. They could go on a surprise run like they did in 2019 and end up doing something big and hopefully not get crushed in the second round because they used all their magic against a team that was way too cocky for their own good and stuff like that. So,
but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll have to see, and yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting season for the NHL. There's been a lot of crazy stuff going on. There's been some retirements, like Alex Chiasson retired, Kevin Shattenkirk, Lightning legend, ended up retiring, and stuff like that. I mean, Eric Stahl's getting his number retired.
That's crazy.
And stuff like that. I mean, like for the Hurricanes and all that stuff. I mean, it's going to be an interesting season. And there have been a lot of brawls. There's been a ton of it.
Jesus Christ.
Like, I remember watching the Lightning and Panthers game where the Lightning shut them out 4-0.
Yeah.
And it felt like every other play, people were trying to go at each other, especially after that hit that Kucherov did on Kachuk. And there was all the talk about that, like, oh, was Kachuk's faking it? No, Kucherov's dirty and stuff like that. I mean, all that aside, I mean, that was a big hit. And then throughout the night, they were just going at it. And again, with Tampa playing against another conference rival in the Hurricanes, they managed to, like, there was like a ton of fighting.
Oh, nice.
And there's that whole thing with Sebastian Aho going like, that's been a meme. That's been a meme.
There's different memes that are going around.
There's also the King, like, there's another meme where the Kings, due to the fires that have been going on in Los Angeles, the LA Kings have had to postpone a game against the Calgary Flames, which is pretty ironic. I mean, we had this kind of funny thing before with the Lightning, where they had a game against the Hurricanes in Amalie, but because of Hurricane Milton, they had to postpone. It's like it's like poetry. It rhymes.
We'll see how that goes. Do we want to do a little bit of predictions for tomorrow?
Oh! Interception
by the Buffalo Bills. That might have just sealed it for them.
Yep. One last indignity, and hey, look at that! I made 2 George Lucas references in one episode. How about that? I really need to touch grass. So yeah, let's do some predictions. Why not? So
let's look at tomorrow's games for Monday.
Tomorrow.
So Monday.
So tomorrow, the first game that we'll be talking about is the Panthers versus the Flyers. Now the Panthers are 25-15-3, and the Flyers are 18-20-5. Now the Flyers are a mess. I mean, after the goaltender that must not be named ended up leaving the team, they've been very mercurial.
Whatever
they've
that
been
word
a mess.
is.
I mean, Matvei Michkov's been a revelation, though. I mean, he's been a very great player.
Yeah.
But other than that, they've just ridiculous. The Panthers. What is there to say that hasn't been said? I mean, guys like Reinhart, Kachuk, Bobrovsky's been on top. He's been great. I mean,
you look at both of those, both Konechny and Reinhart.
Konechny. Yeah, he's been very good.
Sorry. Again, not very much the hockey guy. All about hockey. But
it's okay.
Both of them have 3 goals in the past 5 games.
Yeah, Sam Reinhart, he's unbelievable.
Kachuk has only had 3 assists compared to Konechny's 5 assists.
Are you saying Konechny?
Konechny. Whatever, you say the name.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I won't keep doing the actually bit, but you know.
But then you got Reinhart and
Konechny. I thought we were looking at goalies for some reason.
8 points and 4.
Ooh,
So,
yeah.
I mean,
that's a pretty big difference. I mean, Konechny's been carrying.
If you look at goaltending, I mean, they've been really good. Both of Florida's goaltenders have been really good.
Columbus Blue Jackets legend Sergei Bobrovsky.
Don't know why we traded him.
Because your team does not know how to.
But
do
he's
it.
had
You guys
about-
traded Panarin too. How about that, eh?
But he does have 90% saves.
Oh
which
yeah,
is crazy.
He's got .900, 1 shutout, 2.73 goal against average, and he is currently 18-9-2. I mean, Bobrovsky. If you didn't watch
He's
him in
great.
last year's Stanley Cup run when the Panthers won the Cup, told you. This is to all the people that say hockey does not belong in Florida. Please, silence. But
Focus.
Yeah. So yeah, Bobrovsky. I mean, he's been unbelievable per usual. Spencer Knight, he's back in the NHL after clearing the PA program, which is really good to see. And he hasn't been as good. He's been 9-6-1, but you know what?
And then
I'm willing to take, because he was dealing with some stuff, so it's good to see him back.
But then you go down to Philadelphia Flyers. You got Urson, who has about a .88 save percentage, 2 shutouts, compared to Kolozov. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah. Kolozov. He's 4-8-1, so he's been a mess.
He's been a mess, but I mean, either way, I mean, both of the goalies are good. You look at the last 10 games that Philadelphia and Florida has had, they're almost similar.
Yeah,
They're almost similar. 4-5-1 for Philadelphia and 5-4-1 for Florida. Explain to me how all that works. Like, what in the world? How do you almost have the exact same similar one, and one team should be better than the other? I mean,
that's hockey, baby. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like teams can be surprising, but yeah. So looking at the team stats, it seems like the Panthers have been beaten in most facets. I mean, the Panthers have the superior power play. They're better on the penalty kill, although it's a very close matchup with that. I mean, the Panthers are 80.5% on the penalty kill, while the Flyers are 78.8%. So that's pretty close.
About a 1.7 percentage difference.
Yeah. It seems like the only stats that the Flyers are beating the Panthers at are in face-offs, where they beat the Panthers, and although it is very close, they are 16th in the league for face-offs.
Yeah.
And it says here that I believe that they tend to have more goals against. I mean, it's a pretty rough look for Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, going up against the Panthers, who are 6th in the whole league for power plays. I mean, you do not want to take penalties because they will make you pay. That's something that the Florida teams have been excelling at over the years. Is that their power plays have been excellent. They pass the puck well. They manage to just get into that zone, and they get to those open areas, and they win the defense easily. That's one of the reasons why Tampa and Florida have both been very good on the power play. They do it well. They excel at it.
If I had to choose between these two teams, I don't know who I would go with.
I'm going Panthers.
Both of them are really good. I will probably agree with you. Better power kill, better with the goals, penalty kill, whatever. Power plays, whatever they're called. But I think the Panthers do bring this out. I think they do.
Yeah.
Going on to, there's only 3 games in the NHL, so we'll try and pull it out for you a little bit more.
The Flames and the Blackhawks. This is the Theron Fleury Bowl.
The
Doug Gilmore Bowl.
This is really almost like a close game, I guess you could say. They're tied on goals for Huberdeau.
Jonathan Huberdeau has 3 goals, along with Teuvo Teravainen with 3 goals. Blake Coleman, Lightning Weapon, leads them leads them in the last 5 games with 3 assists.
And there's Bedard.
And Connor Bedard, the only NHL player that mattered last year, Connor Bedard. There was like a joke where I don't remember if this was like a meme somebody made, but I think it was like the birds from Finding Nemo, and instead of going that oink oink, they went Bedard, Bedard, Bedard. And then Nazem Kadri leads the Flames in the last 5 games with 4 points, and Teravainen's got 6 points.
And we
As
look
for
at
goaltending, Dustin Wolf, a very big surprise since the departure of Jacob Markstrom.
Yeah.
He's been a brilliant goaltender in that. I mean, he's been 14, 6, and 2. He's 2.53 goals against average and a .916 save percentage with 2 shutouts. And Dan Vladar hasn't been as stellar. He's been 6, 8, and 5. Oh, there Let's go, Buffalo! Let's go, Buffalo!
there it is.
Yeah, so the Bills just won 31-7.
Which is absolutely a stomping, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I knew that. I thought it was going to be a good game. They're taking pictures. We're going to be sitting here for a little bit. So
Yeah,
it's been great.
make them gather around.
But
So,
you look at the Wolf. You look at Wolf, Vladar. I mean, they've just been really good. Then you go over to the Chicago Blackhawks.
Just messy. I mean, goaltending's been an issue for them for a while. I mean, it's hard to find that kind of bar, especially after Corey Crawford, who is a brilliant goaltender for them. Now they have Peter Mrazek, who's 8-15-1 with a 3.17 goals against average and a .895 save percentage. And Arvid Soderblom, I think is how you say his name, and he's been a disaster in net. I mean, 6-11-1, 2.99 goals against average, and a 903 save percentage. Wow, okay. Actually,
And I mean, and then
seems like he's doing a bit better than Mrazek here.
And then you go down here to like the last 10 games. Chicago is 2-8-0.
Yeah.
And the Calgary Flames are 5-3-2.
Yeah, the Flames had a very big winning streak at the start of the year. I mean, they were on top of it for a while.
Oh yeah. If I think who had to, as they're taking a picture right behind us over here.
Yeah.
If I had to go with who I think is going to win, I mean, you look at the penalty kills. Chicago Blackhawks still have that.
Yeah, they're 12th overall in the league on the power play as well.
Yeah,
Wow,
penalty kill.
Sixth
They're
in the league on the
6th.
penalty kill.
So I think Chicago Blackhawks have this one.
Ooh, I think this might actually be a bit of a close game. I mean, depending on who they have in net and whether or not guys like Teravainen and Bedard and stuff like that show up. I think it'll be an interesting game to watch, especially given just like looking at the stats in the regular season. Like the Flames have had a really, really bad penalty kill, so they definitely do not want to end up getting players in the box, because if they do, then you're screwed. And stuff like that. And the Blackhawks are actually near the bottom of the league for face-offs, so that's a rough thing.
Hey, even though you don't win face-offs, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
but overall, I think it'll be a very close game, but I think I'm gonna go with the Flames on this one.
I kind of figured. I mean,
Yeah.
either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, not just for parity, but because
it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, so
All right,
next up
and
we have the Kings and the Oilers. Now these two teams, this is going to be the Wayne Gretzky Bowl.
This is going to be a really good one.
Yeah. I mean, these two teams do not like each other. I mean, they faced each other in the past 3 playoffs, I think. No, the past 2.
And you look at
past 3 playoffs. 2022, the Kings took them to the brink. 2023, Kings lost in 6, and 2024, Kings lost in 5. So who knows? Maybe they'll get swept this year. But jokes aside, of course.
But I mean, you look at both of these, the players to watch.
Yeah.
Almost even for both of this, for a center and a right wing, Kempe and
Draisaitl, yeah. Draisaitl, been great.
Both of them have 4 goals. You've got Bouchard, who's got 4 assists, excuse me.
Yeah, Evan Bouchard's a very, very good defenseman.
And then you've got Denault.
Denault. It's Denault. Sorry. I keep doing the actually, it's pronounced Denault.
It's fine. Correct me if you have to.
Yeah.
But he's got 3 assists. And then you look down at the points, and it's the same people or the same 2 players.
Yeah, Adrian Kempe and Leon Draisaitl, they've both been like incredible for their respective teams. I mean, Draisaitl, he had a rough go. Like him and Connor McDavid, some of the best players in the league, they had a really rough start to the year.
And you look, and you go back and look at their goaltending. I mean, their goaltending team has been really great. Like, their goaltenders have been really good. I mean, you look at it. I honestly think, just looking at Darcy
Kemper,
I hope they put him as the starter. Because look at how much save percentage he has. Yeah. Look at his win-loss and OTs that he has, and look at his goals against average.
Yeah, this is a bit of a return. Like, he hasn't been perfect. Like, he hasn't been like stellar like he was with the Coyotes or with the Avalanche. But this is certainly a bit of a return to form for him, especially after a very bad, kind of a really bad season with the Capitals.
Yeah,
I mean, he was a mess, and then they had Charlie Lindgren come in, and he was doing all right. And David Riddick, he's been a pretty solid backup for them. So they've been a pretty solid tandem. I mean, last season's tandem had Cam Talbot and David Riddick, and they were pretty good.
Yep.
So we'll just have to see. And now for Edmonton,
you look
they
at
have Stewart, the Super Mario looking man with the awesome mustache.
Mustache looks great.
Yeah, Stuart Skinner. He is currently 16-9 and
3.
I'm sorry, just the way that I said it really fast. 16-9 and 3 with a 2.77 goals against average and a .898 save percentage.
I mean, there's only barely a difference between their second goaltender, who
him and
Picard is 10-4-0, 2.5 games against average. Goals against average. And then 0.896% save percentage. I mean, that's just crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
And just breaking news right here.
Something from Bleacher Report, the Phoenix Suns really want Jimmy Butler.
Wow.
Why couldn't this have come up earlier?
I know. This is going to be huge, but we'll see. You look at the last 10 games. Edmonton is 7-2-1. Sacramento Kings, Sacramento Kings. We went
it's
from...
fine. It's fine. A lot of these. There are a lot of teams that have the same name.
So Los Angeles Kings are 6-2-2 in their last 10 games. In my opinion, looking at the saves and everything, looking at the goals, points, all the stats on there, I say Edmonton wins this one.
Yeah, looking at team stats, the Oilers lead by a pretty big margin against the Kings for the power play, but the Kings have the superior penalty kill. They are 11th overall in the league for the penalty kill. The face-off is a little more even, I'd say. It's 50 to 53-ish and stuff like that. So I think this may be a close match. I mean, depending on if guys like Denault and Kempe and of course one of my favorite players in the league right now, Anze Kopitar, if he shows up, it's good, man. They're good.
We'll see how they do.
Yeah, so we'll have to see. So that's it for the NHL portion. Now, baseball.
Free agency and baseball. It's been quite a bit of different. There's been notable MLB offseason stuff that has happened. A lot of trades, a lot of deals going on. The Toronto Blue Jays announced they have signed right-hander reliever Jeff Hoffman to a 3-year, $33 million deal, which is not bad. But we'll see how that works out. Giants add Justin Verlander to the San Francisco Giants, which should be, they signed him to a 1-year deal, $15 million contract. Who knows? This might be his last game. If they sign a 1-year deal, it might be their last game. You never know. Just last week, Reds acquired Lux in the trade with the Dodgers. The trade with the Dodgers and everything. So.
Go, Sportsball! Yep, we're getting attacked by crazy Bills fans and also my sister.
So, but yeah, the Cincinnati Reds acquired the infielder Gavin Lux from the Los Angeles Dodgers for a draft pick and outfield prospect. The teams announced Monday, adding another prime age hitter to a team that hopes to ascend in the National League Central this season. We'll see how that works out.
On that?
I mean, I think it would help out with them getting that hitter. I mean, they've already got Ellie De La Cruz on their team. But you never know what could happen. I mean, they could come out with big stuff. Royals bring back a pitcher and Lorenzen. They pick back up with Michael Lorenzen, and the Kansas City Royals agreed to a 1-year, $7 million contract. You never know what could happen what could happen there. I mean, you look, I said, back on Justin Verlander, you never know. I mean, he is 42 years old. And I mean, he's still going to this day. So
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
I am not going to say the quote.
That's the wrong. That would be the wrong thing. But he's the grandpa.
So there's also they've got. The Dodgers have also picked up. Not only did they trade Gavin Lux to the Cincinnati Reds, but the Los Angeles Dodgers are in agreement with Korean infielder Hae-sung Kim, I believe that's how you say his name, on a 3-year, $12.5 million contract.
Wow.
So that could be huge and everything. We'll see what goes on. I mean, there's been different stuff that have happened around the MLB. I mean, it's hard to talk about the MLB right now only because it's only the offseason and trading right now. So we can't really speak much about that. But I mean,
there's already been a lot of big signings, like Juan Soto went to the.
Oh my gosh!
He went to the Mets, right?
Yes, he did. And I mean, that was just,
I got it mixed up.
That's probably the biggest one that I have ever seen move. He goes from Washington to New York Yankees, and now he goes to the Mets.
You know what? Hey, at least it's not. At least it wouldn't be hard on his family because it's just like, all right, kids, we're gonna have to move like right down the street.
5 hours down, like a couple hours down the street.
Yeah, but it's fine. All right, we'll live. We live in New York. It takes an hour just to get out of the
and
city.
We just have an update for the AFC divisional rounds. It will be Houston versus Kansas City, and it will be Baltimore versus Buffalo Bills.
The Texans have the opportunity to do the funniest thing in the world.
I hope they win.
Oh my God!
I pray they win.
Like, I'm not even just saying that because I don't. It's like, I don't want the Texans to win. I just want the Chiefs to lose.
We'll see. But talking about
Star Wars bit with like
talking about all this sports and everything. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed it. I mean, I'm sure we enjoyed it.
Oh, absolutely! It's been a lot of fun and. So yeah, that's been our inaugural episode, and
we will be
more
back.
Shenanigans to come. Thank you all for watching, and thanks for the support, and take care.
Good luck, guys. Thank you.
Let's go, Sportsball!